Gathering news from across central Iowa and around the world, this is Fox News at 9. Tonight, first, Whirlpool announced it was closing Maytag's Newton headquarters. Now workers at 2 more Iowa companies will soon be out of a job. Also, the nation's emergency rooms are in a code blue, as a new report says the quality of patient care is slipping. And does Iraq's prime minister want to pardon terrorists who fired on U.S. troops? We have details on the latest political controversy. Those stories plus your Foxcast right now on Fox News at 9. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Tiffany O'Donnell. Yet another Iowa plant closing will leave hundreds more out of a job. The Rubbermaid plant in Centerville will end manufacturing there September 15th and close distribution there October 15th. That story is first on Fox tonight. Cal Woods joins us now live with more. And Cal, before this announcement, the Appanoose County area was experiencing some growth, but probably not enough to make up for this loss.
Yeah, probably not, Tiffany. 350 permanent jobs, another 150 to 200 seasonal jobs, production jobs there pay about $14 an hour, and finding one company to replace that number of jobs will be difficult. Employees at the Rubbermaid plant found out late Wednesday their jobs would be moved to Winfield, Kansas this fall. Nancy Stevens has worked there 20 years.
And the only thing is if a person could find a job here or find something to do here, you know, whether it would be go to school or find something, but jobs are going to be probably pretty scarce, you know.
Rubbermaid's departure is expected to have a ripple effect. The company is also important to the nonprofit Appanoose County Community Railroad.
Oh, extremely important. Between 75 and 80% of our revenues we receive from the Rubbermaid operation. So it's going to take a severe change on our part to be able to survive, but I'm convinced we will.
Keith Sherman from the Appanoose Economic Development Corporation has a similar attitude.
There's some room for optimism here, but it is hard. There's no question about that, and the workers and their families are in our thoughts and prayers, but we as a local economic development corporation are going to do everything that we can and as quickly as we can to get a bona fide employer into the community.
Rubbermaid says they'll be offering at least 150 jobs to employees willing to relocate to Winfield, Kansas. Not an easy decision for people like Nancy Stevens.
My family's all here and my grandchildren, and I'm very close to them, and my husband's family's all around here, and my mom would just, she'd have a fit if I moved away.
State and local economic development officials tried convincing Rubbermaid to stay, but a company spokesman says the Centerville operations will be taken over by that plant in Winfield, Kansas, with cost efficiencies they could not ignore. Employees will receive severance benefits and some assistance with finding new jobs. Tiffany.
All right. Cal Woods reporting live for us. Cal, thank you. The Centerville plant closing is the latest in a series of shutdowns in Iowa. Economists say competitive markets demand greater efficiencies, and small towns often feel the greatest impact.
500 jobs in a town of less than 6,000 is a real hit, because probably there won't be any immediate jobs come up. So a lot of those people are probably going to have to go somewhere else, which reduces the population even more and hurts the tax base and hurts retail sales, for example, and a lot of other things. So it doesn't bode well.
Meanwhile, the Muscatine-based company Bandag announced today it will reduce their workforce. A company spokesman tells Fox News at 9 the company will offer early retirement to about 170 workers. In addition, new employees will not be offered a pension program, and the company is considering terminating the pension program for existing workers in the future. 2 Oskaloosa men are in custody after a 45-officer manhunt in Montana. 23-year-old Justin Michael Schrader and 32-year-old Michael Rafferty are charged with the armed robbery of Oskaloosa's Community First Credit Union. Park rangers found the pair just after midnight at Yellowstone National Park while investigating a hit and run. Schrader was apprehended after a short pursuit, but it took 45 officers to find Rafferty. A large amount of money was recovered with suspects. Oskaloosa's police chief says both men will be extradited on federal warrants due to the severity of the crime. Christian Munoz Gonzalez will spend the rest of his life in jail. Munoz Gonzalez was found guilty of first-degree murder in the death of 19-year-old Anthony Anania of Des Moines. Anania was shot to death over an apparent drug deal gone bad in May of 2005. The state of the country's emergency rooms is in a code blue. That's according to a report by the Institute of Medicine of the National Academies. Fox News 9's Jennifer Mazie has more on how Des Moines emergency rooms are measuring up.
A new report on the future of emergency care in the United States health system shows emergency rooms around the country, including right here in Des Moines, are feeling the dire effects of overcrowding. The report shows emergency departments around the country are experiencing overcrowding, shortages of on-call specialists, shortcomings in the emergency care for children, and lack of preparedness for widespread disasters. On top of that, there has been a significant decrease in the number of emergency rooms overall, and an increase in the number of people seeking services from the remaining emergency rooms. Executive Director of Critical Care Services for Iowa Methodist and Lutheran Hospitals, Sue Leatherman, knows these critical needs all too well.
Uninsured using the emergency department is an issue. I think the larger issue is having, at peak times, more patients waiting in the ED than we have beds opening up in the hospital.
The average wait time, about 2.5 hours, one of the lowest in the country. But that could be improved, she says, if patients knew when to come to the emergency room.
What do you come to an ER for versus what you can go to your physician, even wait till the next day? And those people that have less urgent care are going to experience the greatest wait times.
But health officials add the increasing availability of urgent care centers and walk-in clinics around the metro, offered by both Mercy and Methodist, should eventually help curb wait times at the ERs. But still, the need there is growing so much, the area hospitals are pushing for the construction of a new hospital in the West Des Moines area.
We've looked at that and proposed that, and certainly it would help this situation.
But that could take years, pending approval from the state. Until then, metro hospitals will join those around the country in dealing with the critical issues that come from overcrowding. Jennifer Mazie, Fox News at 9.
Health officials say an injury or illness shouldn't require an ER visit if you have time to call your physician for advice. Instead, visit an urgent care clinic or your family doctor. Well, dads, it doesn't sound like there's going to be a lot of grilling going on this weekend.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a great weekend for us. Hopefully we can get most of this out of the way by early Sunday. But we do have a system off to the west of us. You can see that line of showers right now in portions of Kansas, Nebraska, South Dakota. That's going to be pushing further east. Tonight, just some light rain, but by tomorrow we could see some showers. Highs today, 83, a muggy day in Des Moines, 84 in Ames. We'll tell you about that soggy forecast for the weekend coming up.
All right, Mark, thank you. An intense debate in Washington today over a proposal from Iraq's prime minister to grant amnesty to terrorists who had fired on American troops. The possible pardons raising the ire of some on Capitol Hill, but some say the proposal was misinterpreted. Fox's Brett Baer has more.
The Senate will observe a moment of silence out of respect for our fallen troops.
Moments of silence in the Senate.
For all those who have given the ultimate sacrifice on behalf of our country.
And the House chambers to remember the now 2,500 U.S. troops who have died while serving in Iraq. The grim milestone was reached on a day a front-page story stirred emotions. The Washington Post cited a top aide to Iraqi Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki as saying that as part of a national reconciliation program, even people who killed or wounded U.S. troops would be granted amnesty, prompting a quick and forceful response on Capitol Hill. The problem is, according to Iraqi leaders, the story was wrong. Fox spoke with Iraq's national security advisor by phone from Baghdad.
That was a misquotation and misunderstanding on behalf of the media to what the Prime Minister has said. Iraq has no intention to grant amnesty to those who have killed Iraqis, Iraqi security forces, civilians, or coalition forces. We have absolutely no intention to do that.
Rubai said the Prime Minister and his cabinet have a detailed national reconciliation program to reach out to mostly Sunni communities. And part of that includes amnesty. But Rubai insisted it will only be for people who have not committed crimes against Iraqis or coalition troops. Here at the White House, senior officials were comforted by Dr. Rubai's comments, but also conceded it will take some time for the Iraqis to work through the details of the reconciliation program. At the White House, Brett Baer, Fox News.
From the cornfields straight to the Big Apple, non-stop flights from Des Moines to New York's LaGuardia Airport are here. Starting today, American Eagle's offering flights 6 days a week, which will leave Des Moines at 6 a.m. and arrive in New York at 9:30. Return flights will leave at 6 p.m. and touch down in Des Moines at 8. A weekend schedule is also on board. This is the second new flight the airport has added in recent weeks. Delta Airlines now offers non-stop flights between Des Moines and Salt Lake City. You're watching Fox News at 9. Coming up next, you might want to plan for an indoor Father's Day. Meteorologist Mark Anthony has details on some storms headed our way just in time for the weekend.
You're watching Fox News at 9, Central Iowa's only primetime newscast. Tiffany O'Donnell, Mark Anthony, Kevin Hall, and the Fox News at 9 news team bring you the day's news, weather, and sports an hour earlier. Fox News at 9, the time is right.
Really soggy outdoors.
Oh, unbelievable. Is anyone stepping outdoors
Muggy.
today? Very muggy. Obviously, in just a few minutes, you're soaked pretty much. 83 for a high today in Des Moines. Those humidity levels way up there. Dew points near 70. Trace amount of rain at the airport in Des Moines. Ames, 84 for a high, 1/100th of an inch of rain. In Cedar Rapids, 78 for a high. The clouds hindering some of the daytime heating, picking up 5/100ths of an inch of rain. Dubuque, 11/100ths. Now, as far as those temperatures, we haven't fallen off much from where our daytime highs were. 82 in Des Moines, 80 in Ames right now, still 85 in Fort Dodge. Cedar Rapids still at that daytime high of 78, 79 in Iowa City. That cloud cover is not letting a lot of that daytime heating escape. Dew points again are in the 60s. Now the winds are just strong enough. I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of fog tonight, but in some low-lying areas with all that moisture, potential for some fog. Winds right now out of the south continuing to pull in that moisture. Area of low pressure accompanying this cool front that's going to move through coming up tomorrow. There has been some severe weather off to the west of us. Now as that frontal boundary system moves through that warm, moist air, chance of some showers right now. The bulk of that instability off to the west of us, but coming in by tomorrow and this weekend, chance of some showers. It looks like those moving from west to east coming up by tomorrow afternoon across the western sections of the state and then making their way across the rest of the region, central into eastern Iowa. Again, there is potential for some severe weather, mainly across about the western third of the state coming up by tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow night. As we make our way again, we'll see that cool front gradually start pushing further east. As that does, again, potential for a little bumpy weather coming up by tomorrow night into Saturday. Some heavy rain possible. Some areas could see anywhere from an inch, inch and a half of rain coming up by Saturday. For tonight, partly cloudy. Some scattered showers are possible. Don't anticipate much, a few hundredths of an inch of rain. Coming up tomorrow, partly cloudy. Some scattered showers, mainly later in the afternoon. Again, as those develop mainly from west to east. Highs near 90 in Des Moines and Ames, 91 in Waterloo, a muggy 88 in Cedar Rapids and Iowa City. Mostly cloudy, chance of showers and thunderstorms. A few of those could be a little on the bumpy side, but the main threat is going to be some heavy rain lingering into Saturday. Sunday, hopefully we can get most of that rain out of the way Sunday morning, then we can see some clearing skies. It looks nice Monday, Tuesday into Wednesday. So again, not a great forecast for the dads.
Okay, thanks so much,
Sure.
Mark. You're watching Fox News at 9. Coming up next, an Iowa politician touts the health benefits of breastfeeding. Find out why in Fox Family Health. And Kinnick's Makeover makes it easy for rabid Hawkeye fans to get hitched overlooking the 50-yard line. We'll tell you how later in sports.
Fox 17 Sports is brought to you by Skeffington's Formal Wear.
Senator Tom Harkin says he wants new mothers to breastfeed their babies, and he's proposed adding labels to formula as part of the Healthy Lifestyle Initiative. In Fox Family Health tonight, the labels would have information about the benefits of breastfeeding. Doctors say some of those benefits are providing protection against infection, illnesses, and sudden infant death syndrome. Lactation counselors at St. Luke's say they support the labels.
I think one of the things that they're trying to say is that there definitely are health benefits from breastfeeding. And I think they want women to know and to really think about it, because many women are not exposed to breastfeeding. And
a quick turnaround on Wall Street sends stocks soaring. Rebecca Gomez has a wrap-up in Fox Biz News.
The markets take off big time. The reason why in just a moment, but first the closing numbers. The Dow up triple digits, soaring nearly 200 points. The Nasdaq gaining 58, the S&P up 26 points. This time, Federal Reserve Chairman Ben Bernanke was behind a market rally, not a nosedive. In a speech, Bernanke said inflation at the retail level is not that bad. Bill Gates making a big announcement. The Microsoft co-founder says he'll give up his day-to-day duties at the company in 2008. That's when he'll work full-time for the charity he and his wife started. Gates insists he'll still play a key role at Microsoft. That's business. I'm Rebecca Gomez.
A tough day on the links for Iowa native Zach Johnson. That story in sports. But first, as always, your Fox Stocks.
Fox 17 Sports is brought to you by your local Chrysler dealer.
A controversially deep rough at the U.S. Open has already wreaked havoc during today's first round. Only one player shot below par. Cedar Rapids native Zach Johnson was not that player. He had 2 birdies and 5 bogeys today and sits at 3 under. Let's check out the shot of the day, though. This is Fred Couples in the rough. Puts one over the trees on the 8th hole, and then it takes a couple of bounces, and check this out. 1 bounce, 2 bounce, little roll, and right in the cup. Tiger Woods struggled in his first round back since the last major. His approach shot at 9 hooks, but it hooks right into the grandstand. He shot 6 over today. Let's check out the leaderboard. It's Colin Montgomery, the only player in the red at 1 under. Phil Mickelson and 4 others tied for second. Dan McCarney has heard it all this spring. The hype surrounding his team, the spike in season ticket sales, the expectations of a Big 12 North title, and how hard it'll be to actually accomplish all of that. Not only do the Clones play 9 bowl teams from last season, 6 of those won their games. Coach McCarney tells us this week, because the schedule isn't going to change and he can't draft any more players, everyone on the team just has to man up.
There's no off Saturdays, I can assure you, and of course there's no open weeks for any of us in college football. We're all going in the Big 12, 12 weeks in a row, so we're preparing for that. We're working around the clock. We've got over 100 young men here getting ready for the season, but it's real exciting. When we broke last year's all-time season ticket record already with 11 weeks to go, it's pretty exciting.
Also in Ames, the Cyclones have named gymnast Janet Anson and wrestler Nate Gallick as their Athletes of the Year. Anson earned first-team All-America honors in the vault, floor, and all-around, and helped lead the Clones to the Super 6 of the NCAA championships. Gallick, meantime, finished off his college career undefeated this season with a national title in the 141 weight class. Some somber news for the Cyclones. Funeral services for former ISU quarterback Chris Love will be held this Saturday morning at 10 a.m. in Chris's hometown of Pflugerville, Texas. Love lost his battle with cancer yesterday. In Iowa City, Hawkeye fans hoping to live out their fantasies at Kinnick Stadium will soon have that chance. The university announced today that the new press box will be able to host weddings, receptions, and other parties. There are 2 rooms in the new box that can seat 250 people and a few smaller venues. Associate Athletic Director Mark Jennings says the prices will be comparable to local hotels, and the university will begin taking reservations in about a week. In other football news, the Big Ten Conference is looking into beginning their own television network. According to a Cedar Rapids Gazette report, the conference is exploring the idea right now, but has no specific plans. The Big Ten's current TV contract with ABC and ESPN expires at the end of the next school year. Major League day game for you really quickly. Cubs and Astros. Carlos Zambrano looking sharp. Gets Mike Lamb swinging with the Cubs up 2-1. But in the 8th, Brad Osmus for the Stros. The big bases-loaded single gives the Astros a 3-2 win over Chicago. Speaking of the Cubs, their minor league team leading New Orleans right now. The I-Cubs up 5-2. Meanwhile, in Cedar Rapids, the Colonels 3-2 winners over Beloit. So that's a check of sports. We'll be right back after this.
The actor who played Screech on the show Saved by the Bell wants you to help keep a roof over his head. He showed Myra Sanchik how in the Fox Life.
Hey guys, how are you? One thing you can say, Dustin Diamond is keeping his sense of humor. After all, he's a comedian. What he's facing, though, not funny at all.
They're saying they want $250,000 or go out on the street.
Diamond bought his house on land contract 3 years ago. Court records say he hasn't paid anything since December. Now the property owner is foreclosing.
So we're sitting here and all of a sudden, are you Dustin Diamond? Like, oh, it's a fan. Oh, yeah, I am. You've been served. What?
Diamond was a child star, playing Screech on the show Saved by the Bell.
Screech here has agreed to share his wisdom.
Today, he agreed to share some new wisdom. How to save his house.
It says getdshirts.com, and of course the back says I paid $15 to save Screech's house. Of course, 3 E's, because it's not the no association with the Screech on TV.
Diamond moved to Wisconsin 4 years ago with his girlfriend. Now he travels doing stand-up comedy. But when he comes home, he'd like to have a home.
This is my home. This is where I want to raise kids and my family. I like Wisconsin.
And he's willing to give people the shirt off his back. Or at least his website.
I'm giving them something that, if anything else, is going to be a cult classic. We first rallied together to free Winona, then we voted for Pedro. Now we're going to save Screech's house, right?
Why not?
I want one.
But you know, you just wonder if it'll catch on.
I bet it will.
We have time to check out that Foxcast.
Yeah, let's do it. We do have some widely scattered light rain, a few sprinkles, a few drops out there. Don't anticipate much. Coming up for tomorrow, though, we do have that cool front that'll gradually approach the region. As it does, some scattered showers and thunderstorms becoming more likely during the afternoon. Another warm one tomorrow. We'll see those 80s again, maybe even close to 90 tomorrow.
Wow.
Chance of showers late in the afternoon. Some heavy rain possible Friday night into Saturday morning.
All right. Thanks, Mark.
Sure.
And this is the last time I'll be sitting up here saying thanks, Mark. Thanks, Jared. This is my fond farewell to Fox viewers. I'm taking a little time out to say thank you to all of you who so graciously invited me into your homes over the last 5.5 years. I've decided to step away from the anchor desk to spend more time with my adorable little family.
Can't blame me on that. They are cute.
They are so cute. We've been through so much together. You know, I think 9/11. I think victories as well. I think pregnancy. You all watched me have Lucci. Yes, I was very big with her. You all remind me that. And I just want you to know that it truly has been a privilege to come into your homes for the last 5.5 years. It was an invitation that I never took lightly. Here at Fox, I've also had the opportunity to work with some amazing people, amazing professionals in the newsroom, and a lot of you, thank you, Mark, and all of you out there who I've had the lucky opportunity to interview. And lastly, I'm grateful to my amazing, supportive husband, Michael, for encouraging me to follow this new path, and to my daughters, Devin and Lucci, for sharing me so long. And I'm not going far. I'll still be around, so just know I'll be watching.
I'm sure you will. Take care.
Thank you, Mark. And one last time, I'll tell you, that's all the time we have tonight. Thanks for joining us. Good night.